Everyone loves the Broadmoor comeback story, but the real truth is this. The neighborhood doesn't beat water, it manages it daily. That's the mindset shift buyers missed. Broadmoor sits in a literal bowl. Decades of drainage let it grow, then that same drainage dries soils, lowered the ground, and raised the stakes. So yes, there's flood history, and yes, there's Tuesday afternoon street ponding after quick downpours. But flood risk isn't a deal breaker here. It's a lifestyle you plan for. Stick around because we'll map Broadmoor's flood past, today's protections, and the insurance math, and the block level habits that keep you dry. The bowl, how Broadmoor was built to flood and then fought back. To understand the risks, start with the land under your feet. Broadmoor was built out of swampland once pumped open back of town ground to development. Before 1900, people clustered on natural ridges near the river. After pumps arrived, builders pushed into what became Broadmoor. That flat, low, and newly dry. It worked for a while. Here's what nobody mentions enough. Constant pumping lowers the water table, dries peat-rich soils, and the ground settles. The subsidence is why Broadmoor sits lower than the river ridge today. It's not one big drop. It's years of tiny losses adding up. And in a bowl, inches matter. A raised threshold buys minutes. Minutes prevent interior water. People look at Broadmoor's flood photos and see catastrophe. Okay, but actually, look at the pattern. The water moves along the same corridors. Claiborne and Napoleon, which is right here, toward the outfalls. Those lines channel stormwater toward pump stations. During cloud bursts, streets become temporary canals. That's by design. Street flooding isn't system failure, it's storage while pumps work. Then came Katrina. The neighborhood was written off. Won't return. Plot twist. Broadmoor lives. Neighbors organized, mapped every block, and rebuilt. You can walk it today and see the response. Raised homes, higher steps at front doors, door sills lifted an inch or two, smart grading that pushes water to the curb, not to your living room. You'll also see elevation certificates taped into cellar packets because people here learned to document the inches that matter. History explains Broadmoor's risk profile. Pre-1900, high ground stayed drier. Post-pump expansion took more water. But the bigger shift after Katrina was philosophical. Instead of just forcing water out, Broadmoor leaned into living with it. You'll notice rain gardens next to downspouts, permeable surfaces in driveways, and small detention features that slow runoff. Those sponge city moves aren't decoration. They're minutes in the bank during a heavy band. Let's talk pathways for a second. When you're standing on Napoleon, think of it as a shallow trough. Curb to curb, the neutral ground acts like a spine. Add in lateral drains under the side streets. Those are the veins. In a quick 7-inch burst, you'll see curbs disappear, intersections pool, and cars creep. That's nuisance flooding. Homes that stay dry usually have 3 things. A few steps up, gutters that point water away from the foundation, and a clear path from downspout to the street. Meanwhile, the raised basement style that Broadmoor is known for, that architecture wasn't an accident. Those spaces give water a chance to be outside while your daily life stays above. After Katrina, many owners took that template further, lifting electrical outlets, sealing low wall penetrations, or adding flood vents on enclosed areas. The goal is to keep the envelope secure. even if the street looks like a shallow canal for an hour. Micro story. Two homes across from each other on the same block, same storm. One has a two-step rise, tight thresholds, gutters that shoot water to the curb, and a simple swale cut along the side yard. Dry porch, wet street, owner sipping coffee, watching radar. Across the way, ground level door, flat slab at grade, and a low spot at the walkway. Towels at the baseboards, fans running by afternoon. Same neighborhood, different choices, very different morning. This is why Broadmoor fought back and won on its own terms. The neighborhood didn't chase perfection. It embraced practical adjustments, inch by inch. You'll still get pounding on the corners. You'll still move your car to the neutral ground when alerts hit. But raised thresholds, better grading, and block-level drainage discipline changed outcomes. History explains the risk. The rebuild showed the path, and that sets up the present. Stronger regional protection, smarter local drainage, and a community that treats rain like a routine drill, not a surprise. Speaking of what's changed since, let's get into today's system. What protects Broadmoor and where the limits still show? The system today. What protects Broadmoor and its limits? Protection helps, but your wallet and your routine feel the real shift. Regionally, the post-2005 upgrades matter. The hurricane risk reduction system, levees, flood walls, gates, and massive pump stations now forms a ring that cuts storm surge risk way down compared to pre-Katrina era. That's the big umbrella. Inside the bowl, the Sewage and Water Board's drainage network moves rain to the pumps and outfall canals. When the forecast is a standard Gulf thunderstorm, this system does its job. Now here's the part people skip. Subsidence and sea level rise compress those protection timelines. Walls sink millimeter by millimeter. Water creeps outside creeps higher. That means a system designed for a certain elevation slowly loses freeboard, the safety margin above the expected water level. Maintenance becomes destiny. The Corps plans periodic lifts and armoring so protection doesn't quietly age out. Good news, but it's a reminder that protection is a moving target, not a box checked forever. Let's ground it to Broadmoor. Neighborhood flooding here comes from the sky, not the lake or river, most days. Think intense bands that dump inches fast. The drainage system is designed for a design storm about an inch in the first hour and a half inch each hour after. But we're seeing bursts that exceed that. When 7 inches fall over a few hours, somewhere in the city, you get street flooding. That doesn't mean the system failed. It means it's temporarily overwhelmed and buying time. Water sits in the street, your temporary reservoir, while pumps catch up. Meanwhile, interior flooding, the kind that hits your floors, usually boils down to inches and minutes at the property level. The city can keep surge at bay and pull water off streets. It can't lift your threshold. That's why raised houses still matter, even with a stronger ring system. Those extra steps turn a 1-hour street pond into a non-event inside your living room. That's also why you'll see flood vents in closed underhouse areas and utilities lifted off the slab. Infrastructure reduces risk. Building details decide your outcome. But wait, it gets better, because locals added a single layer: sponge city tools that slow, store, and infiltrate water before it ever hits the drain. Broadmoor blocks have bioswales that capture roof runoff, permeable pavers that hold water under the surface, rain gardens at the corners, and even athletic fields retrofitted to act like reservoirs under the turf. This is not cosmetic landscaping. It flattens the peak of a storm, spreading out the load so the big pipes don't choke all at once. Here's what I think is really happening. The old mindset was race water to the lake. The new mindset is hold what you can, then move it. In practice, that looks like gutters kicking water into a small trench, then into a planted basin, then only if needed into the curb. On a block where several houses do this, the whole street floods shallower and drains faster. 1 yard swale won't save a neighborhood. 10 in a row noticeably shift the outcome. And this is where we have to be honest about limits. No system on earth handles a supercell parking over a neighborhood dumping 5 inches per hour indefinitely. Pumps trip offline sometimes. Power blips happen. Debris clogs a catch basin. That's why redundancy matters. Backup power at stations, maintenance cycles on pumps, and gates and neighborhood habits like clearing curb inlets before a front. Everybody does a little beats somebody should do a lot when the radar lights up. Meanwhile, everyone ignored the simple home checklists because the big project stole the spotlight. Clean gutters, downspouts extended, grading that nudges water to the street, not your slab, backflow preventers on sewer lines to avoid backups when the system gets pressurized, door dams ready for ground level entry. None of this is glamorous, but it's cheaper than replacing baseboards, and insurers tend to smile on documented mitigation. Plot twist. All these layers, ring protection, city drainage, block level sponge features, and house level details don't eliminate the risk. They make it predictable and manageable. You trade surprise for a plan. You watch heavy bands on radar. You move the car to neutral ground when alerts hit, and you trust that the pumps and the sponge are buying you time. Raised thresholds and good grading buy the rest. Protection works here, with caveats. The limits are real, so are the tools. If you treat Broadmoor as a system, regional defenses, city capacity, neighborhood storage, and your property's defenses, you'll read storm days like a pro. That's the foundation for the numbers we're about to cover, because your insurance and mitigation budget lives right inside these limits. The hidden costs: insurance, mitigation, and the math of peace of mind. Now let's translate all of that into dollars, effort, and what it buys for you on the worst day. Flood insurance isn't a red flag in Broadmoor. It's a line item you plan for, like utilities. The mistake we see is people pricing the premium but not the mitigation that lowers it or their stress. The math here isn't only annual cost, it's how much uncertainty you remove. Observation first. Perception lags. Folks still picture old risk maps or Katrina footage and assume every house is either uninsurable or sky high to insure. That's not how underwriting works. Elevation, openings, utilities height, and prior loss history drive your rate. Two homes on the same block can have very different premiums because one has sealed low penetrations, flood vents, and utilities raised above base flood elevation, and the other doesn't. The elevator pitch? Inches and documentation reduce dollars. Okay, but actually, your best lever is mitigation done up front. Think of it like buying points on a mortgage. You pay once to lower the monthly pain for years. Start with information. An elevation certificate tells you where your lowest floor and critical equipment sit relative to the flood benchmark. Without it, you're guessing. With it, you can target fixes that move the needle. Let's put numbers to the common items. Elevation certificate and survey. It's the report card insurers read. You'll use it for quotes, remodeling, and future resale. Backflow preventer on your sewer line. This valve stops city pressure from pushing wastewater back into your house when intense bands hit. It's an unglamorous hero. Door and garage dams for ground level entry. They buy minutes during curb-to-door sheet flow. Gutter downspout and grading tune-up. Extend downspouts, reset splash blocks, and regrade low pockets so water finds the curb, not your slab. French drain or trench drain at notorious pooling edges. One shallow run along the side yard can redirect the storm's worth of roof runoff. Flood vents for enclosed underhouse spaces. They equalize pressure and reduce structural risk, which underwriters like. Simple landscape sponge, a swale, and a bed designed to hold roof water briefly. It smooths peak flow and protects thresholds. Evidence backs the pay once argument. After big storms, material and labor costs spike. If you plan mitigation in fair weather, you avoid surge pricing and the mad scramble for fans and baseboards. Insurers also tend to offer credits for documented measures. You're not just safer, you're more insurable, which shows up in your premium and in your resale pool. Now, risk tolerance. Raised versus ground level is the big fork. Raised homes buy a natural buffer. Your spending focuses on underhouse airflow, utility heights, and site drainage. Ground level homes can still work, but your kit changes. Door dams, sacrificial baseboards in entry areas, a more aggressive grading plan, and careful threshold heights. Corner lots often drain faster, but can take more wind-driven sheet flow. Mid-block lots may see slower recede if the nearest catch basin is clogged. Learn your pooling pattern in a 2-inch day before you experience a 5-inch day. Your buying checklist should feel boring and thorough. Elevation relative to the street crown. If the porch sits above the center line of the road, you've already banked an advantage. Slab or first floor height and threshold design. Is there a lip? Is weather stripping tight? downspout direction and discharge distance. Water should travel to the curb without crossing a door path. Neutral ground slope and nearest drain health. Walk to the catch basin. If you see leaves matted in the grate, clear it and adopt it. Utility locations. Water heater, electrical panel, and HVAC should sit high enough to dodge the nuisance water. Previous water disclosures and any claim history. Ask for receipts on mitigation. Underwriters like proof. Financing angles can help. Some insurers discount for mitigation measures like flood vents, elevated utilities, or backflow valves. If the home is eligible for historic rehab credits and you're doing structural work, those offsets can soften upfront costs. Think of it as stacking small wins, a credit here, a lower rate there, and resilience that buyers will pay for later. Let's talk reserves. Set aside a modest storm fund. Fans, dehumidifiers, and a few sheets of drywall aren't expensive individually, but they're harder to find during an event. A sandbag kit, plastic sheeting, painter's tape, towels, and extra filters for your HVAC live in a labeled bin. You'll never regret having it, and yes, join the adopt-a-drain culture. Your block's drain is part of your house. Here's the personal calculus we watch clients make. Suppose mitigation costs equal several years of premium differences. The question isn't just payback, it's peace of mind and marketability. Houses that demonstrate smart water planning photograph better after a rain, appraise with fewer condition notes, and sell with clearer disclosures. That's real value. Bottom line, plan on flood insurance, invest in inches, and document everything. You're not chasing zero risk. You're buying control over outcomes and smoother ownership. In Broadmoor, that's the math that lets you sleep when the radar turns purple. Block by block reality. How Broadmoor actually floods on a rainy Tuesday. So let's bring this down to street level. A heavy band moves in around 3 p.m. First sign, the lowest corners pond first. Underpasses and dips near Claiborne hold water, and curb lines disappear where leaves covered the grates. You'll see cars crawl because wheel wakes push water toward door thresholds. On many blocks, the water rises to cover the curb, sometimes hubcap deep at intersections. Then, as the band passes, it usually recedes within an hour or two as pumps catch up. Here's the real difference folks miss. Nuisance street flooding isn't the same as interior flooding. Street water is annoying, interior water is damage. The gap between the two is inches and minutes. A two-step rise at the front door, a tight threshold, and clean downspouts buy you those minutes. If you've tuned your grading so roof runoff heads to the street, your porch stays dry while the asphalt does the temporary reservoir job. Locals run a simple playbook. When alerts hit, move your car onto the neutral ground if your block is known to pool. It's not dramatic. It's normal courtesy to your own insurance deductible. People also clear curb drains before the front. One rake, 5 minutes, better odds. During storms, most of us have a radar app open and keep an eye on pump status updates. It's not panic, it's weather vigilance as routine. Hotspots versus safe bets. You'll notice raised cottages tend to shrug off a fast ban. Even if the street holds water, the living space sits above it. Retrofits at ground level can still work, but they need door dams ready at grade facing entries and smart threshold lips. Mid-block properties with shallow crowns may hold sheet flow longer. Corners sometimes clear faster, but can see wind-driven waves if a speeding car plows through. That's why neighbors ask each other, "Which way does your water run?" Pattern recognition matters. On a 2-inch hour, you might see puddling at the corners and along shaded curbs. On a 5+ inch burst, water moves across the whole street, turning the lane into a shallow canal. Watch where the first streams form in your yard during lighter rains. Those are all your tell paths. If they head toward a door, you have homework. If they run to the side yard and out to the gutter, you're fine-tuning. Micro story time. 2 ground level entries on the same block, same cell overhead. One has a subtle trench drain cut across the walkway tied to a side yard swale. The porch stays dry, towels stay in the closet, and the owner texts the group chat to clear the downstream grate. Across the way, flat slab, downspouts dumping near the stoop, and a low spot where the concrete settles. Water kisses the threshold and then creeps in. By evening, baseboards come off and fans hum. Same rain, different prep. Now about interior-only plumbing issues during heavy rains. The backflow question. When the system pressurizes, unprotected lines can burp up wastewater. Homeowners with backflow preventers rarely think about it. Those without learn fast. Add that valve once, and it becomes a non-event. That's part of the Tuesday reality too. Street water plus sewer pressure equals risk you can eliminate with a single device. And yes, you'll see the adopt a drain culture in action. People name a curb inlet and claim it. On storm days, they check it, clear it, and post a quick photo. That small habit shaves inches off street depth. 10 houses doing it lowers the whole block's anxiety. It's community flood management without a committee meeting. What about the worst case within a typical thunderstorm? It's the stalled cell. Pumps handle design flow, but a stuck supercell can outpace them for a bit. That's when your door dam matters. You drop it across the vulnerable entry, lay a sandbag or two at the low corner, and let the minutes tick. When the band moves, the water leaves. Your floor stays dry because you planned for 15 minutes of chaos, not 5 hours. The takeaway is simple. Broadmoor's rainy Tuesday is predictable if you know your block's personality. Raised homes ride it out. Ground level homes need quick tools and thoughtful grading. Everyone benefits from clean inlets, extended downspouts, and a parking plan. You don't have to fear these days. You just work the plan. And when you buy with that plan in mind, the street can look like a canal while your living room stays a living room. Smart Buyer Playbook. Choosing the right house and setting it up right treat Broadmoor like a puzzle. Location, elevation, and mitigation have to lock together. Start with due diligence before you fall in love with a porch. Pull the elevation data, ask for prior water event disclosures and any mitigation receipts. That tells you whether you're buying inches of safety or budgeting to create them. Then stand at the street crown and sight line the porch. If your stoop sits above that center line, you've banked free protection. If it's level or below, plan for thresholds and grading. Walk the site, look at slab height, porch thresholds, and where water would travel during a downpour. Check downspout direction and discharge distance. If water crosses a walkway toward a door, that's homework. If it runs down the side yard toward the curb, you're in better shape. Peek at the nearest catch basin and the neutral ground slope. If leaves cake the grate, adopt that drain the day you move in. Match the house type to your risk tolerance. Raised cottages are the easiest. Focus at underhouse airflow, flood vents if areas are enclosed, and keep utilities high. Ground level homes can still work with the right kit. Door dams for grade facing entries, a subtle trench drain at the stoop, and regraded bed lines that push roof runoff away. Corner lots make clear faster. Mid-blocks can linger if the downstream grate clogs. Learn your block's pattern on a 2-inch day. In the first 60 days, install a backflow preventer, seal wall penetrations, and tune gutters and downspouts. Add splash blocks or piping to move discharge 10 feet from the house. Where pooling shows up, cut a shallow swale or add a short French drain to hand water to the curb. Landscape for function. A bioswale bed under the eaves, permeable pavers where you park, and mulch that slows sheet flow. Build your storm kit like a glove compartment. Door dams labeled for each entry, 6 sandbags, plastic sheeting, towels, painter's tape, a box fan, extra HVAC filters, and a rake for the curb inlet. Save your elevation certificate, photos of mitigation, and maintenance notes in a single folder. Insurers like documentation, and buyers do too. Financing and insurance can reward smart prep. Many carriers credit flood vents, elevated utilities, and backflow devices. If your home qualifies for historic rehab credits, structure work can get softer on the wallet. The goal isn't heroics, it's stacking small wins that add up to a calm storm day and a stronger resale. Lifestyle fit matters as much as specs. Broadmoor offers quiet, central living with weather vigilance baked in. You trade late-night noise for neighbors who clear drains and group text radar screenshots. If that sounds like your pace, this neighborhood returns the favor with access to universities, medical corridors, and quick routes out of town. Bottom line, choose inches, plan minutes, document everything. Property spotlights, 3 Broadmoor choices, 3 lifestyles. Let's look at 3 properties that show how Broadmoor lives day to day. I'll walk you through what you feel on the block, the water plan you inherit, and who each home tends to fit. Fit. Lifestyle fit. Households that entertain often and want central access without giving up privacy. Buyers who value historic character with measured, resilient updates. A home base that trades nightlife at your doorstep for quiet, green mornings. Lifestyle transition close. So 3 different ways Broadmoor can work for you: simple and raised, renovated and social, or gracious and quiet. The thing is, no matter which one you choose, the daily rhythm stays the same. Neighbors who wave, quick trips to essentials, and a water plan that turns storm days into routine. If you want the full map of streets, drains to watch, and coffee stops to try, we've got that ready for you. Let's look at 3 properties to show how Broadmoor lives day to day. I'll walk you through what you feel on the block, the water plan you inherit, and who each home tends to fit. Here we are on State Street Drive. This property is asking $499. It's your classic raised Broadmoor cottage on a quiet tree-lined street. You step up a few stairs to a front porch that looks across a mellow block with steady dog walkers and morning joggers. Inside, you get that light, simple floor plan buyer's life. Living up front, bedrooms tucked down the hall, and a kitchen that opens to a manageable backyard. Water plan. The elevation does the heavy lifting here. Those steps buy you minutes on storm days. Gutters are already pointed to the side yard, and the downspouts run away from the stoop. Add a short trench drain at the walkway lip, and you've covered the usual sheet flow. If you enclose any underhouse area, install flood vents and keep utilities high. Lifestyle fit. First-time home buyers who want a calm street and a walkable coffee run. Anyone who wants low-fuss ownership with a straightforward mitigation plan. Easy jump to Uptown, universities, and Fred's food corridor. Here we are on Vendome Place. This property has an asking price of $825,000. Now we're in the renovated Craftsman Zone. More square footage, more finish, and a block with tidy gardens and porch chats at sunset. The facade keeps the original character. Deep eaves, tapered columns, and warm wood tones. Inside, it's updated where it counts. A central living area for gatherings, a bright kitchen, and a primary suite that feels like a retreat. The back patio works for weekend dinners and weekend hangouts. Water plan. Thresholds are tight and raised. You can see the subtle lip at exterior doors. Permeable pavers in the rear help the yard act like a sponge during quick bursts. Downspouts already root to a planted bed. Add a small swale to handle water to the curb. Install a backflow preventer once, and you're done thinking about sewer pressure. Lifestyle fit. Buyers who want space to host without leaving the neighborhood vibe. Work from home setups that need quiet, light, and reliable routines. Easy access to schools, the Rosa Keller Library, and Broadmoor Park.
Here we are on Versailles Boulevard. This property has an asking price of $1,650,000. This one sits at the top of Broadmoor's Market. Gracious curb appeal, detailed millwork, and a layout designed for both daily life and formal occasions. The approach along Versailles reads stately. Mature trees, broad setbacks, and homes that carry their history well. Inside, you get scale, soaring ceilings, well-framed rooms, and a kitchen that anchors the home. Outdoor space is intentional, hardscape for entertaining, green edges that calm the eye. Water plan. Subtle but smart grading from the side yards toward the street. You can feel it underfoot. Mechanical systems sit high, with utility platforms tucked well above nuisance water. Add a discreet trench drain at the garage apron, and a door dam kit for the rare cell that parks overhead. Biannual gutter service and a claimed catch basin at the corner keeps storm days predictable. Lifestyle fit. Households that entertain often and want central access without giving up privacy. Buyers who value historic character with measured, resilient updates. A home base that trades nightlife at your doorstep for quiet, green mornings. Lifestyle transition. So 3 different ways Broadmoor can work for you. Simple and raised, renovated and social, or gracious and quiet. The thing is, no matter which one you choose, the daily rhythm stays the same. Neighbors who wave, quick trips to essentials, and a water plan that turns storm days into routine. If you want the full map of streets, drains to watch, and coffee stops to try, we've got that ready for you.
Broadmoor works because it plans for water instead of pretending it isn't there, and that mindset turns risk into routine. If you want our street-by-street starter map and the first 60-day mitigation checklist, drop your questions below and we'll tackle the top ones. Subscribe to Living in New Orleans for honest neighborhood deep dives. We post weekly. Reach out when you're ready to plan your move. 9 days or 90, we'll guide you.